Good morning. I'm doing something a little different today, and I hope you can hear me because I have my microphone, clipped to my shirt. Hopefully it doesn't hit my necklace too much. But we are getting ready for a book event today, so I thought I'd show you kind of what goes into getting prepared for this. The table is covered with copies of our books. We have our little bookstore back here, and one of the things we will be taking along is this little shelf. And I'll show you the setup once we get to the mall. But what we've started to do is we're only taking about 5 copies of each book. You can probably see I have them scattered around the table. So most of these were written by my husband, J.T. Hume. We have 5 copies of Duties Faithfully Executed, which is a political book. And then we have his Emma Parks series, which she is the child of a wealthy person. She comes from a privileged family, and she decides that she wants to become a child protective services worker. The first book in this, actually, I think this entire series, JT wrote for me. They were holiday gifts. So we have Hope Knocks Twice. I'm only taking 3 copies of that, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Saturday's Child, which is book 2. And then Emma Forgiven, which is book 3. The reason I'm taking 3 copies of those is that we also have compilations of the series called Emma Parks CPS Worker. So I'm taking a couple copies of the compilation. We decided to get these plastic bins because we were using the boxes that the books came in, but if it happens to be raining on an event day, we didn't want everything to get soaked. So we switched to plastic. I'm really glad we did. Now for Passion Restored, we have 7 copies in-house, so I'm going to take all 7 of them. And I'm trying to pack these in such a way that I don't mess up the covers too much, but some of them are showing a little bit of wear and tear, so I need to be careful. So I have 7 copies of Passion Restored. And then the romance that JT and I co-wrote, From Tundra to Tiara, we also have 7 copies of that. So I am taking all of those as well. Since this is a Mother's Day event, I'm hoping that anybody who might buy a copy of one of our books will be looking at romances, maybe. Who knows? But we also take these little book stands so we can put a copy up, and then I slide a card inside of the book that shows what they compare to. For example, JT's Popular Sheriff in Nevada series compares to something like the show Longmire. So that's one of the things I have written on the card. But we have 5 copies of Sheriff in Nevada. These are obviously Nevada-specific books. They are a female sheriff in a small town in Nevada. Book 2 is Sheriff in Nevada Downfall. So I have 5 copies of that. And then 5 copies of Sheriff in Nevada Corona, which is book 3. He is working on a book 4 that he had planned to release this year. But as of right now, that's not going to happen because he's busy with another book. Now, this one, excuse my back. JT did Love and Death on I-80 West and Starting Over in Las Vegas. These 2 books are a lot grittier. He calls them his not safe for work books. And if you can see the cover, I can pop the cover on screen too. This is a little bit more lurid. It's very graphic. It has sex and violence. And it is, unlike most of JT's books, it is a male main character, and it's his redemption arc. So instead of taking those copies, we have compilations called the Tucci Chronicles. So we're going to take 5 copies of the Chronicles. try to fit those in here. And then finally, we have JT's science fiction series, Serving Salvation books 1 through 3. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I might need another bin. Oh, let's see. This is where it gets a little challenging. JT likes to say that I'm playing Tetris because I used to be very fond of playing Tetris. We have the novella compilations of JT's Finding Salvation series. So let me see if I can fit those in here. Oh, there's 3 of them. So this is definitely going to be a little bit Tetris. So book 1 of Serving Salvation. Let's see, do that. That should work, I think, because the lids are a little bit domed. And then book 2 actually ends up being a little bit higher, but I think we'll be okay there. And I don't think we can do that. Okay. So I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit, but I thought I would show you part of what happens as we're getting prepared for our book events. We will also be taking a folding table. We have a bin with we call it our office bin, that has our things like our cash box and signage and bookmarks, business cards, all of those things. Those would be in our office bin. Then we have our tablecloth, we'll have our table drape, and we have a stand-up banner. And I'll show you all of this once we get it set up at the Carson Mall. But for now, I'm going to play with this a little bit more, and I'll see you a bit later when we get to the mall. And we're home again. It was a full day event. We had a few sales. It was pretty good. And I'll put in some footage of what the mall looked like. It's a pretty small indoor mall, but the storefronts are actually more full than I expected, because the last time I was down there, I think there were quite a few empty ones. So we had maybe about an hour or so where were a lot of people wandering around, some very cute kids, some dogs. People were training service dogs. And I can show you our booth setup after showing you how I pack up things this morning. I can show you actually what the booth looked like. I think it turns out pretty well. And I put together little giveaway items. They're those little mesh bags, and I put a business card, a book-themed keychain, and a piece of chocolate in them, and I handed them out to people. And those seemed to go over really well. So all in all, I think it was a good day. We had a lot of fun. For the first time, the event actually fed us, which I found interesting. They brought in sandwiches, and they had some chips and something that I thought was pickles, but it actually turned out to be jalapenos. So I felt that for a while, but it was a very nice event. It was fun, and I think if they do it again, we'll probably join in, because JT got a lot of writing done. I think he got another 2,000 or 3,000 words, and I just spent a lot of fun time watching people. So overall, I think it was a very good Mother's Day, and I did get messages from my kids, text messages. So I saw most of my kids this weekend. My oldest has been pretty busy with school because the school year is winding down and there's a lot going on. So I'll probably catch up with her as we get closer to summer break. But definitely, it's been a good weekend. And see, JT and I postponed the podcast that we were normally do today. We're going to do our podcast and our meeting tomorrow. So then we'll be getting things. I really have to get my manuscript wrapped up, because now I have 2 days. I am not going to get any writing done tonight because I'm just too tired. It's been a long day, but it's also gotten very hot here. It was 85 degrees out there. So I hope that doesn't mean we're going to have an incredibly hot summer, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, like I was saying, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and that you're looking forward to doing some fun things in the week ahead. and I will check in with you again tomorrow. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.